Breakfast of champs in the evening. You recording?
Yeah, man.
Okay. In this video, we're reviewing a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit from Circle K. Pretty fucking good. Comments are gonna be going, oh, I need more food reviews. Trying to get some fuel before we record. Apparently, Ryan decided to just record anyways. Wash it all down with a diet soda. The drink of healthy people. Drink for healthy people. Let me tell you if we got sponsored by Coke.
That'd be lit.
I wear a Coke t-shirt in every video. You know what's funny? Some people I work with watch my videos. Know nothing about shoes. That's how I know when you post a video. Because I'll walk into work and I'm like, hey, I saw your new video earlier today. That was pretty good. I don't really like the shoes, but the way you talk about it. I'm like, what the fuck?
And you're like, I didn't even know there was a video.
I know, I always say, we put it out already. Yep. I'm trying to eat this fast. I hope you don't add this whole thing in the video. I feel sorry for you guys if he does.
Gotcha, bitch!
Never feels more comfortable as time goes on having a camera in your face all the time. I don't know how like reality show people do this. And that's a wrap for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me eat. Tune in next time for stuffed crust pizza.
Just swear to God, let's go.
Oh, damn, dude. Guess I can focus.
No.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. Got me, Golden Air Collector, aka Malcolm, Cletus, and Brandon. Bad quality HD TV.
It's whatever at this point, man.
Yeah, behind the camera, as usual. So, I wanted to kind of do something a little new, I guess, in a sense. Typically, I will, showcase what's new, what I got in the mail, stuff like that. One thing I want to try to do is showcase individual shoes, especially ones from my collection. Old shoes like the DC Diablo, stuff like that. Kind of just go over them the best I can, I guess, and watch this cat. But, anyways, so I wanted to start this with a shoe from one of the greatest skaters, possibly. Birdman himself, Tony Hawk. I don't know why, but I love Tony Hawk. It's probably the same reason that any new kid starting out skating is going to love Nigel Houston or, what's his name? Yuto Horigome. Yuto Horigome? Is that it? I don't know how you pronounce his name. But yeah, it's the best. And as a kid starting out skating, you're going to obviously love the best. Everybody loves Michael Jordan when they first start watching NBA back in the late 80s. And everybody loves LeBron. Vice versa. Everybody loves the best. Tony Hawk was the best at the time. And it's weird because I started in 2000, maybe 2001 skating. And, it's obviously past his prime. But he had the video games. He had everything out. And it was, at that moment, he was considered like a sellout, And so it was kind of taboo to like Tony Hawk. I remember, I've said it in a video before, but me and my friends just call him Boney Cock, we just try to make fun of him, but deep down inside I was like, oh fuck it. I love him. He's I don't know, it's Tony Hawk, he's the greatest, you gotta love it. But yeah, so I wanted to showcase his shoes first, and I did say, I want to showcase just one shoe, but I have two of his shoe models, and I figured why not just knock them both out in this one video, because this era of his footwear was my favorite, and just coincides that it was actually the ones that were out whenever I started. I want to start with, literally, this was the first shoe in my collection that I got. Tony Hawk Pro version 4. I did not have this shoe when I was a kid. I actually don't have the one that I did have, but I couldn't pass up these. I got these in, oh, they're falling apart, in 2014. And it was, I just hopped on eBay, wanted to buy something that, you know, was from fucking back in my time. And this happened to pop up for a great price. Yeah, these things are starting to age. Damn, that sucks. They were like really good condition when I first got them. The tech behind these were insane. I believe I've like kind of went over this shoe in a video before, but we'll go over a little more on this. This was like the cream of the crop back then.
The cream of the crop.
A lot of people who skated back then will know how tech these were, because it's easy to look back at that era, not being in that era, and think that this was the normal. But it wasn't. The normal was this, a basic shoe. You know, Mark Johnson, this is an amazing shoe. I'm not saying anything, you know, but basic was rampant. And then you had extravagant stuff like this, which is what really would capture my eye as a kid. This right here, when you're flipping through a CCS catalog and you're seeing the regular run-of-the-mill shoes, and then you come across something like this, and at the time I was 12, 13, so obviously this is what I would gravitate towards. This thing was sick, but they were expensive. I mean, what was this? $89.99 at the time.
Shit.
Which is, I think with the exchange rate, it's like almost 3 times that. That's how much it would be now. So this would be like a $150 shoe, probably, or more. That's not 3 times it. So it's just insane. I mean, they have actual rubber / plastic. I don't know. Is it TPU or something? I don't know material, but it's like a exoskeleton over the entire shoe. And I don't know. Don't feel like it. Okay, I thought maybe it might be underlaid underneath here too, but I don't think it is because it's too soft. But that would have been tight. It's just remarkable. And this sole, he used this sole like tread pattern on a couple of his models, I believe. I loved it. I wish I had, they had a giant sticker that came in these, and it was just this giant H logo, the Hawk one, and it was probably about that big around. And I used to like, I stuck it on the ceiling in the school and got in trouble. Apparently it's frowned upon. It was kind of easy to notice who did it because I was the only kid in school with a pair of Tony Hawk shoes on. Oh man, this is amazing though. It's crazy looking at this though. I own all of these shoes in here, and like, I barely look at them. You would think I would be in here every day, like scoping stuff out, especially for like nostalgia purposes. But usually, like, I'll buy something, I'll look at it, and I'm like, you know, blown away. But then I box it and put it up for a long, long time. Collection's gotten kind of out of hand. When it started, I had a few pairs, and I would like look through them, and I'd be blown away. But then it's kind of, I've surpassed that, like, I don't want to say like surpassed the nostalgic feeling. Like, I still feel nostalgic when I look at it, but the purpose of me going back and buying these was because I wanted them back then, and so now I got them. And you would think that I would just always be blown away, but it's kind of, it's not like that. If you are a collector, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you're getting into collecting, it's exciting at first, but then it just becomes like, all right, well, I got it. And it's like another check off your list. Like, man, got that, okay, whatever. And it sucks. Every now and then, I come back, sit down, look at a shoe, and remember, like, why I actually buy these things. Because it is, like, mesmerizing. It's cool as fuck to own this. But, you know, one thing I should do is learn all the, like, technical details of a shoe for the video.
Yeah.
That would help out.
That would be
instead
helpful.
of me just going, it's got this fucking strap thing here.
I feel like some of the older boxes have like
They got some of the stuff on it.
blueprint shit on it or whatever.
Yeah. It's hard. You can't just hop on Google and be like, what's the spec details on some Hawk Pro V4s? You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to do all that. And I mean, I guess if you knew all the materials, like just in general. You can kind of break it down easier. But this shoe probably, if I had to be honest, would be absolutely terrible to skate in. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't want to try to flex it right now, but I don't see it being flexible at all. It probably would literally feel like a brick on your foot, like a wooden clog or something. But I mean, back then, sometimes it was just nice to have a shoe that looked good that was a skate shoe. A lot of people were wearing skate shoes that didn't even skate back then. So I'll try to break it down as much as I can with my limited knowledge. But this shoe is rubber sole, the lowest part, outsole, midsole, has this little piece right here of foam, comes all the way around, which is deteriorating on these, so I'm trying not to touch them as much as possible. And then this lovely little mesh material up here, which is great. Also, one thing I want to point out is how like most of the shoes this era had wide lace mounting points, which the wider they go, the easier are to blow out. But this shoe kept like a traditional, like a Nike shoe at the time. If you had like a Nike Air Max or something like that, like a 95 or something, it would be narrower like how this is. I like that because, you know, I said it before, but I don't necessarily care for just a poofy shoe. It's not my thing. A lot of shoes that I like are poofy, but that's just because that's how they were made and I had no choice but to like it. But for me, this right here is like a great mix of both. I mean, it's got a little bit of poof in it, but then it has like that narrower lace pattern, so it could look like a regular shoe. I mean, that's tight to me. That's what I always liked. That's kind of like how I like the DC Legacies, because they look like an Air Max, what was it, 97? 95? I don't remember all my Air Max models. 97, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, it looked like a regular shoe, and that's what was cool to me. That's why I like these. Let me see what the sole looks like. Oh, yeah, got a basic insole with the little arch support on it. I don't even know if you get arch support in modern shoes nowadays. It's like very rare. But put this shoe up. Go over one more Hawk shoe. Yeah. Hawk Pro version 4. He like knocked out pro models on his own brand, like, because I feel like it wasn't out that long and he had like 4 pro models. For most of you that don't know, Hawk footwear was just a extra brand of audio footwear. So a lot of the designs will look like audios. This one is another Hawk shoe, the Ronin. Ronin?
I'd say Ronin.
Ronin? Yeah. The Ronin. This one was, to me at the time, the shoes that I had, I don't know the model of them. I don't remember it. But I got them because I found them at a local shop and they had my size. Got it. Loved them. I told my friend how good they were because for me back then, the ones that I had were good to skate in. And I loved them. One of my buddies, one of my best friends that I skated with growing up, went and got a pair, and he got this pair, which is the ones that I actually wanted. But he had a different colorway. They were white and red, and it was really sick. If you can find them on Google, give them a look. But the like design on this shoe is crazy to me. Like this whole piece right here was awesome. It's almost like a D3 in a sense, but I don't know, these just look tight. I mean, all of his shoes, honestly, he had one, I think he only had like one pair of Hawk shoes that were a basic shoe that was kind of like cheaper, and this was definitely not one of those. This is another one of the tech models that probably costs a good bit. I don't see the pricing on this. This one has a bit wider lace design than the Pro 4s. This is actually the pair, I think he was wearing these on the cover of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Or no, that was the Pro V4s. He wore these on one of them, I believe. But rubber toe details for fucking days. He's got the little hawk right there. Even like this. Just extra little details that make like the nicest little touch. Look how tiny this is. I never even really noticed that, but a little Hawk logo right there. The little tiniest fucking detail. And with these, you do have the option to lace underneath these. Technically not underneath them, because it's right on that inner part. But you could lace right there instead of blowing out your laces on this, because it's inevitable. They put these little bumps on here to kind of help, but it's not going to help. It's more of just a design feature. This shoe does have rubber outsole, foam midsole, but this is the better foam. I've discussed it before in a few videos, but I think it's EVA is the bad one, if I remember correctly. I don't remember all my shoe knowledge names and stuff. But yeah, so there's one foam, which is what the Pro V4s are made out of, that actually deteriorates and falls apart. And then there's this one that stands the test of time. You can still press on it and everything. Watch it fall apart right as I'm pressing on it. But no, like this still feels like a brand new shoe. Like it's not aging at all. It's great, and this is what all shoe manufacturers should use, but they don't. You would think Jordan's a brand that they use like foam in all their shoes almost, and they always fall apart. But I think that's kind of like the ploy, is put the shittier foam in there so it falls apart, so that way they have to buy them when we reissue them again, you know what I mean? So it makes sense. But this one is a bit poofier for all you poofy shoe heads than the Pro V4s. Yeah.
You go camping with that.
Yeah. I remember always telling people, like friends and family, when they're like, why are your skate shoes so poofy? I'm like, oh, it's to protect my foot in case the board were to hit it. How many fucking times has your board ever hit your foot and like it hurt or something? Even like a regular shoe. I've never had it. The only thing that I have had happen was kick flipping off a loading dock, landed primo. Fucking out. I was wearing a pair of Vans. Annihilated.
That's a bad
Like
time.
I couldn't put weight on my foot for like 2 weeks. I probably should have went to the doctor. Yeah, like all this poofiness though was not needed at all. I don't know how it spawned. I need to like sit down with all the skate shoe owners one day, and like the ones that own all the companies, and just ask them like, why did you gravitate towards this?
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, just to figure out the knowledge as to why they got so fat. And I know the reason that a lot of them were fat was just because of the fact that like they noticed people liking them, and so then they just kind of overdid it and made it bigger and bigger. I mean, the D3s got fatter with each iteration of them, and a lot of DC shoes, like the Diablo's a big ass shoe, which is crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine Danny Way sitting down going, yeah, you know what, make my pro model like huge. He was a vert skater. I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't imagine him wanting a really big shoe like that. God, there he goes.
Oh, we're about to take out Diamond Dallas Page over there.
Oh no. My DDP. Hit him with a diamond cutter.
Oh my god.
From the top row! But anyways, back to these shoes. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of you guys, if you're a poopy head, you're a poopy head. You love it. I get it. You know, looks kind of tight, but I wouldn't wear it per se normally nowadays. This insole's kind of nice. It has like Tempur-Pedic-ish stuff, which never made sense to me. If you have a Tempur-Pedic insole, it is literally a waste of time, because all it does is flatten out where all your weight goes, and then it's a regular insole. There's zero reason to have Tempur-Pedic in an insole at all, unless if it's fucking like this thick, and when you put your feet in it, it cushions down to that, and you still have cushion. Slip one on for old ones. Oh, that's nice. These are tight, man. I love how innovative brands were back then. What else looks like this on the market? Especially, well, I mean, can't really compare it to now. But back then, I mean, fucking nothing. This was crazy. This is the shit that I like. I like these details, man. The designs of these shoes back then were just fucking out of the world, man. I mean, granted, you still had shoes like the Lynx and stuff like that were a basic design. You know, still, obviously, I love the Lynx, but it was a simple design you could see in regular shoes, and the Air Force One looked just like it. You know what I mean? It's basic toe panel, basic heel panel, and that's it. But then they would go all out and design a fucking beauty like this right here. Look at that. That's like a Jordan style sole right there. Like,
it really is sick, man.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you know, look away from like how poopy they are. You know, as a regular person looking at the shoe, my coworkers, I see you. You're watching this video. So if you look away from that and you start to just look at the basic design of this shoe, it's insane. Like, it's just, they went all out. I mean, these shoes were cheap in comparison to like what you would think you'd have to pay. Like, if something like this came out right now in a skate shoe world, fucking $200 plus, and nobody'd want to buy it. But these shoes came out and they were selling like crazy back then. I'm glad they did. But that's it, man. That's a wrap for this video. I wish I knew all the like technical details, but maybe I'll learn them for future videos for the rest of these shoes. Because like I said, I do want to kind of go over each and every one of these models and discuss them. Because I've noticed, like I was telling Brandon, we've done it in videos. Like, it was hard to pick out which shoe to start off with because I pretty much discussed every shoe in a video, but it's only to a certain extent. I feel like, you know, I can learn some more knowledge on these and then break them down for you guys. Because a lot of my viewers are people that weren't necessarily alive or skating back then when these came out. You might have been like a little baby or something, you know. It's kind of cool to be able to give you guys a little history lesson. And then for all you old people like myself, go back and look at this shit that you used to see back in the day. I know people that were like a little bit older than me hated this back then. These were like, you know, fat, hideous. It's just one of those, it's the generation steps. Everybody hates what the other generation did or like, you know what I mean? One thing I do remember is like the rally shoes, the first Vans rallies. A lot of the older people at the skate park were wearing those and like trying to give me shit for having like DCs and stuff like that, you know? Because they're like, what are you doing wearing those fat, ugly shoes, blah, blah. Being confused. I'm like, you don't like these? Like, they're skate shoes. What are you talking about, you know? But like now I can look back and be like, okay, yeah, I can see it. Because like I don't like the new shit that's out now. Stuff. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, that's it. That's a wrap for this video. We'll do some more like this, but the next video will be the DC Truth with the jersey. Been waiting on, honestly, I've been waiting on the jersey more than anything, but that'll be here in a couple days, and we'll film that and get that out next. And then maybe we'll also film a video of another pair of shoes. I have a lot of different shoes in my collection, as you can tell, so got a lot of shoes I can go over and try to break down some details on them. Maybe tell you some stuff you never knew. Who knows? Maybe have some stories behind a few of them. We'll see. But thank you guys for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, checking out my cat Cletus, who finally at the end of this fucking video decides to lay down and relax on a pile of clothes that I've been meaning to do a video on as well.
This guy.
But maybe next time. Peace out. Thank you guys. Put this up.